Here's how I use a utility knife as an electrician from Australia. If you're an apprentice electrician looking for the perfect knife and want to learn some practical skills while you're here, I suggest going with the Milwaukee Fastback, and you can use it to strip orange circ cable, Cat 6 cable, cutting through Corrie, and opening a ton of boxes. G'day, I'm Corey, a licensed electrician from Melbourne, and most Sparkies I know use the Milwaukee Fastback. It's super convenient, easy to get out, easy to close. You've got spare blades at the back. I'll go a bit more in depth in this later on in the video, but there are a few other options you can go with as well. For the purpose of this video, I had a look at knives that you can get that are VDE 1000 volt rated, and Wattmaster do manufacture these. And I've got one right here, which is the Wattmaster WAT070107. That's the model number. And as you can see here, it says 1000 volts VDE. Now, would you ever be stripping cable that's live? Hell no, obviously not. But I guess still peace of mind, and it is out there if you want a knife that is VDE rated. There are a few different styles that the Wattmaster make. I just went with the one that was available near my place because a lot of these you've got to get on special order. Another type of knife we use within the trade is the snap-off knife. And I recommended this exact one in my under $100 apprentice tool video, which links will be in the description. And the convenient part about this specific knife is that the blade can be extended out further. And the reason you'd be doing that is, say if you're cutting out foam for, you know, those Milwaukee foam inserts, which you can like neatly store your tools. You can cut that out to the exact length of the tool, but that's not really what you'd be doing on the job. I guess at the moment, I can't really think of any specific examples you would be extending it out that much. But the main purpose of the snap-off knife is you mainly want to send it out like a little bit, that much, lock it in so that that's not going anywhere. Once the top blade gets blunt, the idea is, yeah, you snap it off and then you're using the next blade and so on until you go through all of them, and then you can get like refills. This is literally the cheapest snap-off knife you can get from Bunnings. So that's why I've got this one handy as a backup. But anyway, let's go on to my main utility knife. And yep, that's the Milwaukee one. As you can see, it's gone through a bit. Ignore the tape, got my phone number there. Don't want randoms calling. Why I use this as my main? First of all, it is super convenient to carry around. So you've got this wire belt clip at the back, which I just keep on my Makita tool pouch, and it's easily accessible. If you don't have a tool pouch, you can just put this thing in your pocket. You can hook it onto the end of just your normal belt or your work pants or whatever. It looks like you can actually take the thing off if you want it to be more compact, but I don't see why you would. You've got a metal body, which is obviously not VDE rated. Again, why would you be stripping live cable? That is extremely dangerous and something that I would never do. If you're wondering on the exact model of this one, it is 48-22-1502. And I find it funny, it's got a little warning image on the end there. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses. Oh, I guess it's not a bad idea to wear safety glasses when using a knife. You don't want to accidentally cut your eye open. Here you've got the quick release opening, so hold it and then you pull it out like so. Make sure your hand is away from that blade. So you can either sort of rotate your hand out like that and then pull your hand back away, or you can do it one-handed. You can interchange your blade by pressing this quick release button over here, and then you can just pull the blade out. And the good thing about these blades is once you've used the shit out of this side of the blade and it becomes blunt or you snap it or whatever, just turn it around and you can put the blade back in. You don't need to press the button when you're putting the blade back in. You've got a wire stripper is what they call it on the website. Personally, I've never used it. I guess it does have its uses for some people. You've got a gut hook. Again, I don't use this thing. I don't know what I would use it for. If you guys use it for something, let me know. This part here is to put your lanyard in. Working at heights, you don't want to drop your tools. I've never actually taken advantage of the lanyard hold in any of my tools before because I know they're safely secured in my tool pouch, but it's there. And lastly, you've got the blade holder, which you can just pull out. I think you can only pull it out when the blade's out, and then you can hold, I think I've got like 5 extra blades in there, or spare blades, which is plenty. I bought like a packet of like 50 spare blades. It cost me like 50 bucks from Total Tools. I think it's really well designed. It's really convenient. It's nice and compact. I'm not sponsored by Milwaukee. I wish I was, but I genuinely do really love the brand. But yeah, on the practical side of things, the way I strip orange circ, what I do is I have my blade on the underside of the cable, then I have my thumb on the opposite side, and then I kind of twist my hand around. In terms of not cutting into the internal insulation or the conductors, I personally find that I actually don't cut deep enough. You should be fine if you can get your hands on some scrap cable, practice on some scrap cable, and just sort of get a feel of how deep you can cut. And then from there, say if you're stripping a lot of cable off, what you want to do is hold the utility knife like this, place your pinky at the bottom of the cable, and then press your blade into the orange circ and slide down. And pretty much the idea of this is that you're never going to cut yourself because you've got that pinky at the bottom gliding your knife down. So there's no way of cutting your fingers unless you're a total moron. But yeah, just be careful, keep your other hand above, keep a nice grip on the cable and cut all the way down. And then when you get towards the bottom, you kind of just want to flick off. Obviously your pinky is not going to be on the cable anymore. You sort of just want to cut in deep and then flick all the way down. And it doesn't matter if you nick the inner insulation or the conductors at the bottom, because we're probably gonna shorten the cable length anyway. And yep, that's how I strip orange circ. The way I strip Cat 6 is I usually have a specific tool, but I don't usually carry around my data tools with me. So if I'm fitting off some data mechs, what I'll do is grab out my knife, make a little cut. You don't need to cut around the cable like I did with the orange circ. You only really need to make a little cut, and then you can bend the cable, and then it spreads the cut a bit wider, and then you just pull out that outer blue material, whatever that thing's made out of. You're not going to cut into the strands underneath. And then the way I actually fit off these mechs is I use a small flat blade to sort of crimp the cables into their position. And it's just as good if you were to use a push down tool. So I do that when fitting off data mechs if I didn't have the specific tools on me. I also use my utility knife on corrugated conduit, or just corrie for short. Again, I do this because I don't have my proper conduit cutters with me. I do have a video on an electrician's conduit cutter, which you can watch in the description below. Lastly, I use the utility knife to open up light fitting boxes, packages. Bit of advice, if you're opening up light fittings, make sure you don't go too deep in with a cut, or just do a little nick on the side of the tape of the box, if that makes sense, because you do not want to cut into whatever's inside the box. Anyway, I think that covers an electrician's utility knife. And I know other electricians have their brands that they stick with. You've got Klein, that's a popular brand that a lot of electricians like going with. As you can see, there's kind of a recurring theme on this YouTube channel that I like going with, sort of Milwaukee stuff. But yeah, this is the knife I use. And yeah, if you like this video, please chuck it a like, comment any video ideas or any questions or concerns or whatever. You can check out my other videos here, and thank you for watching.